Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome back to Qasid Online. This is Ayub Palmer, and I'm an Arabic instructor for Qasid Arabic Institute. This is the 11th video in our Arabic letters series, and we'll be learning about the Seen and the Sukūn in this lesson. You can take out your writing worksheet and follow along with this video if you wish. For those who don't have the worksheets that accompany this video, please fill out the form at the end of the video and Qasid will have them sent to you. Let's get started. In this lesson, we have four main objectives. The first objective is to pronounce the Seen correctly and the Sukoon when it occurs on a letter. The second objective is to recognize the Seen and the Sukoon when they occur in a word. The third objective is to write the Seen correctly in a word and also write the Sukoon correctly on top of a letter. And remember, there are four positions for each letter of the Arabic alphabet. And the Seen is going to have all four of those positions. Our fourth objective is to pronounce and write the Seen and the Sukoon in a word. And the word we have for today is Jisr, meaning bridge. So let's move on. So this is the Seen. We call it Seen, and it's like the S in English. The S as in sand. And the Sukoon here, we call this Sukoon. And the Sukoon is what we call a non-vowel. Actually, it is a non-movement on top of a consonant or long vowel. And so this circle here represents a letter, as usual, and this is what we call the Sukoon. It's a small little circle that we write on top of the letter. And this is actually, it is what we could call a pause on a particular letter. And we'll see how that works in the coming slides. So where are we in the Arabic alphabet? Well, the Seen is right here. Okay, we're getting pretty far. Remember, we're going from right to left. And the Sukoon is all the way over here. This is the Sukoon. Now let's move on. Let's look at the Seen and the Sukoon in their different positions. And remember, there are four positions for the Arabic letters. Okay. And so we have the independent position. This is number 1. And the Seen will look like this in the independent position. And in the initial position, this is position 2, the Seen looks like this. Has these little, I call them teeth. 3, the medial position, again, connecting and connecting again. And in the final position, we have the Seen, it connects, and then it again dips below the line. Now the Sukoon doesn't have positions like the consonants and vowels. However, the short vowels, right, don't have positions as well, and so the Sukoon is like the short vowels. The long vowels have positions like the consonants. Okay, so the Sukoon is going to look like this, and it sits on top of the letter. So if this is the Seen in the initial independent position, then the Sukoon would look like that on top of the Seen. Okay, and so if we were to write this and we were to pronounce it, let's take the ba in the initial position and add it to the Seen here. and put a fatha on the ba, so that's ba fatha ba, and then add a sukoon here on the seen, and then we have a pause on the seen, so we would pronounce this as bas, bas. You see? Bas. Great. Let's move on. Let's write the seen in its different positions, and I'm going to change my color here to yellow so we can see better. So we have here the seen in the seen in the independent position. And so we write the seen like this. And this dips below the line. So the teeth here sit on top of the line, and then the rest of the seen kind of dips below the line and then comes up. So let's write it again. Like that. Let's do it one more time. Like that. Good. Okay, let's write it now in the initial position. So we write it like this, and it connects. Let's do it again. Teeth, and then connect. One more time, and then we connect. Great. Now let's write it in the, excuse me, that was a mistake here. I'm gonna erase that. Okay. Now let's write this in the medial position. So we connect here, teeth, and then connect. That was a little bit small. Let's write it a little bit bigger. Connect, connect, and then one more time, connect, connect. Good. Okay, now let's write it in the final position. We're going to connect, and then teeth, and then come below the line like in the independent position. Again, one more time, connect, write the teeth, and then below the line. Excellent. Okay, now let's look at this sukoon. So the sukoon, again, is, and we're going to write here sukoon. The sukoon is a little circle that we write on top of the seen. And it pauses on that letter. So you want to hold that consonant. As opposed to the fatha, for example, if we put the fatha, it would be like this. Sa. Sa. And the kasra would be si. And the dhamma would be su. But the sukoon here, the sukoon holds the letter and doesn't move that letter in any one of those three vowel directions. So we just hold it like that. Great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're going to write this letter in a word, okay? And we're going to see how the sukoon works with the seen. And I'm going to change my color here. Okay, so let's just review again. We have the seen in the independent position. We have the seen in the initial position. We have the seen in the medial position. And we have the seen in the final position, right? So we want to write the word bridge, okay? And bridge in Arabic is jisr, jisr. It might be hard to hear the ra at the end of that word, but it's there. So ja, you hear a ja sound in jisr, and it has an I, j, j, jisr. So we're going to write the jeem. Let's write the jeem here, okay? Right, and then we're going to add what? A kasra, because we have a j, j. And then we hear this sound, jisr. So we're going to add a seen. Okay? And then, but the seen pauses. Jis. You see it? We hold the seen. Jisr. So we're going to put a sukoon. And then we hear a ra at the end. Jisr. Jisr. And we're going to add the ra at the end. So, what does this look like? Well, the jeem here connects to the seen, and the seen connects to the jeem. So we have to write the jeem in the initial position. Okay? That's position 2. And we write the kasra again underneath. So the kasra, it goes underneath the letter. Then we have the seen. Now the seen here is going to connect to the ra, because the ra can connect to what comes before it, but of course it doesn't connect to what comes after it. So we're gonna write the seen in the medial position. So we write it like this. You see it connects here and it connects here. And then we're going to write the sukoon on top of the seen, because we hold that seen. Jisr. And then we add the, and remember the sukoon goes on top of the letter. So finally we hear the ra, jisr. And we finish with a ra. So now I'm just going to erase these two little markings, because those were just to show that the seen connects from both sides. And here we go. So this is our word, jisr, and jisr means bridge. Okay, let's write this word several times. I'm going to change my color again to yellow. And here we have the word jisr. So let's write it. So we have jisr. And it's good to write the vowels afterwards. So the jisr. Okay, let's do it again. Dots here. Jis. One more time. Jis. And there you have it. Okay, let's review. So the letter seen here in Arabic is like the letter S in English. Okay, that's not too hard. Now the sukoon represents a pause, and it's important to remember that. A pause over a particular consonant or long vowel. So, for example, a consonant is like the seen, which we've been doing. And we put it like this, or a long vowel, for example, the wow, we could put a sukoon over it like that. A short vowel cannot take a sukoon over it. The letter seen connects to letters both before it and after it. So for example, in the medial position, the seen will look like this. You see, connects from this side and connects from this side. Unlike the letters that only connect from the right, for example, the wow and the alif and the dal and the ra and the dhal and others. And the sukoon is written above the letter as a small circle. So if we have the seen like this, then we write the sukoon above it as a small circle. Okay, now for the homework. So please download the writing worksheet and practice writing the seen and the sukoon in a word, and also practice connecting the letters together. And also don't forget to download your reading worksheet and upload your audio file to the course website. And to get a hold of our entire set of worksheets that go along with these video tutorials, please see the instructions at the end of this video or in the text blurb below. Thanks so much, and we hope to see you here again at Qasid Online. Ma'as salama.